Dear students, in my previous PowerPoint presentation, I have discussed construction working theory of cyclotron, and in this presentation, I am going to discuss another important particle accelerator, which is nothing but betatron. While discussing cyclotron, we came to know that electrons cannot be accelerated to very high value using cyclotron, and this is a very important drawback of a cyclotron. And the limitation of the cyclotron is removed in the betatron, which we are going to discuss in this presentation. So before going into detail about betatron, let us recall the limitation of cyclotron. In case of cyclotron, we have the expression for the velocity of the charged particle V, which is equal to BQR divided by M. Suppose if we use electron to accelerate using cyclotron, then here we represent the velocity of the electron, and Q is nothing but the charge of an electron, and B is the magnetic field. Now in cyclotron, the strength of the magnetic field B is maintained constant, and when the electron acquires energy equal to 1 mega electron volt, if the electron just acquires a kinetic energy which is equal to 1 mega electron volt, its velocity becomes very, very high, and the velocity of the electron reaches almost 0.9 times the velocity of light. As a result, because of the relativistic variation in mass, the mass of the electron becomes more. The mass of the electron increases. When the mass of the electron increases, once the mass of the electron start to increase, the velocity of the electron start to decrease. So, further increase in the kinetic energy is not possible when we use cyclotron to accelerate electrons. Therefore, using cyclotron, we can increase the kinetic energy of an electron only up to 1 mega electron volt. But we need electrons with very high kinetic energy up to 300 mega electron volts. So, cyclotron is not suitable to accelerate electrons. Now, how to overcome this drawback? Now, according to this expression, now as velocity increases, mass also increases, and as a result, because of the relativistic variation in the mass, when the velocity of the electron almost approaches the velocity of light, then its velocity decreases. So to avoid this, now what we can do, as velocity increases, accordingly, if B is also increased, then the mass of the electron remains same. And in this way, we can avoid the limitation of the cyclotron. That means, as the velocity increases, we have to make an arrangement such that the magnetic field also increased. And the magnetic field is increased in accordance with the velocity. According to this relation, the M remains same. And by using this arrangement, we can be able to increase the kinetic energy of an electron to very, very high value. Now, such an arrangement we are going to see in betatron. Okay. Also, Let us recall electromagnetic induction. Now we know that when magnetic flux linked with the coil or a circuit changes, an EMF is induced in the coil. Now this is called as electromagnetic induction. Whenever there is a change in the magnetic flux, an EMF is automatically developed in the circuit. And if d phi by dt is the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the coil, then the expression for the induced EMF is given by epsilon is equal to d phi by dt, where epsilon is nothing but induced EMF, phi is the flux, and d phi by dt represent the rate of change of magnetic flux. Now this, you are familiar with this relation, and this is called as electromagnetic induction. Now we are going to use this electromagnetic induction in case of Betatron. Now let us understand construction, working and theory of Betatron. Now what is Betatron? Betatron is a particle accelerator used to accelerate electrons, and you know that electrons are also called as beta particles. Now beta particles are nothing but the particles which are emitted by the radioactive nuclei. Now therefore this particle accelerator is also called as Betatron. Beta stands for beta particles. Now the particle accelerator, now Betatron, is used to accelerate beta particles or electrons to a very high kinetic energy up to 300 mega electron volt. Now if we use cyclotron to accelerate electrons, now we can increase its kinetic energy only up to 1 mega electron volt, whereas by using Betatron you can get electrons with very high kinetic energy up to 300 mega electron volt. Now this was invented by D.W. Crust in 1940. Now let us know the construction of Betatron. Before construction, let us look into the principle. Now principle of Betatron says that Betatron works on the principle that a changing current in the primary coil of the electromagnet develops an oscillating magnetic field. If there is a current, if current flows in a coil, then you know that a magnetic field is developed. But if the current is changing continuously, then the magnetic field which is generated is also changes continuously. Therefore, a changing current in the primary coil of an electromagnet develops oscillating magnetic field, that is changing magnetic field. And during the first quarter cycle of oscillating magnetic field, the flux linked with the secondary coil of the electron orbit changes. When the flux linked with the electron orbit changes, an EMF is induced, and this EMF accelerates the electron. Now this is the principle of Betatron. Now Betatron works on the principle that a changing current in the primary coil of an electromagnet develops an oscillating magnetic field, and during the first quarter cycle of the oscillating magnetic field, the flux linked with the coil, secondary coil of the electron orbit changes. As a result, an EMF induces in the electron orbit, and this induced EMF will accelerate the electron. Now this is the principle of Betatron. and we will understand beta principle better after discussing construction and working. Construction of a betatron. Betatron consists of a donut shaped vacuum chamber. A special type of vacuum chamber is used in case of betatron, which is called as donut shaped vacuum chamber. Now donut shape, which is similar to your cycle tube. The shape of this chamber is similar to the shape of the cycle tube, and this donut shaped vacuum chamber is made up of glass or ceramic. Now in this chamber we are going to accelerate the electrons. Okay, and this chamber is placed between poles of a powerful electromagnet. Here the chamber is placed in between the poles of an electromagnet, and this electromagnet is magnetized using primary coils. Okay, now just look at the diagram. Now this is nothing but donut shaped vacuum chamber. Okay, now this is a chamber, and in this chamber, now this is the orbit of an electron. Okay, and see, donut tube, it is also called as donut tube. Okay, and above, now this is nothing but the top view of a betatron, and therefore above this donut tube and below this donut tube we will be having poles of the electromagnet. Okay, and the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the donut tube. Now this is the side view of betatron. Here, now these are the poles. In between these two poles of an electromagnet, now we have placed the donut tube. Now this is a portion of the donut tube. Donut tube will be perpendicular to the plane of the screen. Now in this figure, the donut tube is perpendicular to the plane of the screen, and above and below the donut tube we will be having the poles of the electromagnet, and these two poles are magnetized with the help of the coils, primary coils. Okay, now these are the position of the coils. Now, and these coils are connected to AC supply, and therefore an alternating current is used in order to magnetize the poles, and therefore the magnetic field is not constant. The magnetic field is also oscillating according to the current, and here we are using AC current, oscillating current, alternating current to magnetize these poles. Therefore the magnetic field developed is also oscillating. It is not a constant. Here we are not going to get a constant magnetic field, but we are going to get an oscillating magnetic field. Okay, the chamber is placed between the poles of powerful electromagnet, and which is magnetized using the primary coils wound over the poles connected to alternating current source. Now look at the shape of the poles of an electromagnet. The poles are designed such that they produce very strong magnetic field at the center of the donut tube. Now this is the center of the donut tube. Now the shape of the poles are in such that the magnetic field is strong at the center. That means just above the electron orbit, the magnetic field is very strong compared to the other parts of the donut tube. The alternating magnetic field thus generated is directed perpendicular to the plane of the donut shaped chamber. Now from the figure it is clear that the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the tube. The donut chamber is perpendicular to the plane of the slide, and these two are the positions of the poles of the electromagnet. Now this is about the construction of Betatron. Now let us discuss the working. Now here the electron to be accelerated is injected into the donut tube using an injector. Okay, and this is a filament which generates electrons. Now from the filament, using injector, we are going to inject the electrons into the tube. Now when the electron will acquire sufficient amount of energy, then it is deviated from its orbit with the help of a deflector, and it is directed to strike the target. And we know that when fast moving electrons strike a target, X-rays are generated. Okay. Working. Now the electrons to be accelerated or injected into the chamber at the instant when the magnetic field just starts to rise. What is the meaning of this? Now look at the graph. Now this is how the magnetic field changes. Now since we are using alternating current to generate the magnetic field is also alternating. It is also oscillating. Okay. Look at the diagram. The strength of the magnetic field will rise from 0 to T by 4. T is a time period of this magnetic cycle. And after this time interval, the strength of the magnetic field decreases. Now therefore, the complete cycle of the magnetic field is divided into 4 parts, 4 quarters. Now 0 to T by 4 is the first quarter of the magnetic cycle. Now this is T by 4 to T by 2 is a second quarter, and this negative cycle is having the remaining 2 quarter cycle. Now this first quarter cycle of the magnetic field is very important. Now between these 2 times 0 to T by 4, the electron will be accelerated to the maximum value. Now this quarter cycle of the magnetic field is very important. And here the electrons to be accelerated is injected as soon as the magnetic cycle begins. Just after point 0, the electrons are injected into the chamber. And since the magnetic field is perpendicular to the donut tube, according to Lorentz force, the electron will describe a circular path with a constant radius. And the electron is due to the Lorentz force. Further, if you look at the graph, the magnetic field is not constant. magnetic field is increasing continuously. As a result, the increasing magnetic field, it changes the flux linked with the electron orbit. Here, the electron orbit acts like a secondary coil, and as a result, the magnetic flux linked with the electron orbit changes, and in the first quarter cycle of the magnetic field cycle, the EMF is induced, and this induced EMF will accelerate the electron. Okay, now this is how the betatron works. Now after this time T/4, if you look at the graph, the magnetic field will start to decrease. When the magnetic field start to decrease, then instead of acceleration, the electron will experience deacceleration. The velocity decreases. Therefore, before T/4 time, you have to remove the electron from the orbit and allow the electron to strike the target. In the next quarter cycle, that is during the second quarter cycle of the magnetic field, cycle, there is decrease in the magnetic field, and hence the corresponding induced EMF deaccelerates the electron. So, to avoid loss of energy, the electrons are made to strike the target just at the completion of first quarter cycle. Now, just at the completion of first quarter cycle, the electrons are removed from its orbit and they are made to strike the target, and we are going to get the X-rays. Now, this is the working of cyclotron. Now, in order to accelerate the electrons, now we have to satisfy one particular condition, and that condition is called as betatron condition. To maintain the electron in the circular orbit of constant radius, the rate of change of magnetic flux through the electron orbit must be always equal to twice the change in the magnetic flux when magnetic field is maintained uniform throughout. Now, this is called as betatron condition. Now, let us try to understand this. To maintain the electron in a circular orbit of constant radius, now we have to satisfy this particular condition. Now, this is called as betatron condition. In the LHS, we are having change in the magnetic flux when the magnetic field is oscillating, when the magnetic field is not constant. And here on the RHS, we are having again d phi by dt, but here now this is the change in the magnetic flux linked with the electron orbit when the if the magnetic field is maintained uniform. Now, if the magnetic field is uniform, you calculate d phi by dt change in the flux linked with the coil, and when the magnetic field is varying, as in betatron, now d phi by dt is nothing but the change in the magnetic flux linked with the electron orbit. Now, when this is equal to twice d by dt when flux is uniform, when the flux, here phi is the flux, when the magnetic field is uniform, then you can maintain the electron in a circular orbit of constant radius. Now, this particular condition is called as betatron condition, where phi uniform represent when the magnetic field is uniform. Okay. Now let us discuss the theory. Under the heading theory, we are going to prove the Betatron condition, and also we are going to find out the expression for the final energy gained by the electron using Betatron. Okay. Now according to electromagnetic induction, if phi is the magnetic flux linked with the electron orbit at any instant of time, then the EMF induced in the electron orbit is given by epsilon is equal to d phi by dt, and this EMF will do work, and the work done by the EMF on the electron is given by W is equal to charge into EMF. Okay. And according to the ordinary definition of work done, we can write one more expression. Let us calculate the work done in moving an electron to complete one circular orbit. The work done in moving an electron for one revolution along a circular orbit of radius r is given by work done is nothing but force into displacement. Here the displacement is nothing but the circular circumference of the circular orbit. Circumference is nothing but 2 pi r. Therefore work done is nothing but force into 2 pi r. Now here we have two equations for the work done. Therefore we can equate 1 and 2. From 1 and 2 you will get the expression for the force acting on the electron. The force acting on the electron is given by E times EMF divided by 2 pi r. And we know that this EMF is nothing but d phi by dt. Therefore F is equal to E divided by 2 pi r into d phi by dt, where E is the charge of an electron. Now this is the expression for the force which we obtained by using electromagnetic induction. Now we are going to obtain the expression for force by using Newton laws. And then we are going to equate equation 3 and the another equation, and finally we are going to reach the Betatron condition. But the Lorentz force acting on the electron will provide the necessary centripetal force. Therefore, we know that BeV, instead of Q we are having E, because here the charge is E. Charge is nothing but charge of an electron, which is nothing but E. Therefore, BeV is nothing but mv square by r. From this, mass into velocity, momentum of the electron is given by Be into r. And according to Newton's second law, we have an expression for force which is nothing but rate of change of momentum. Momentum is nothing but mass into velocity. And we have the expression for momentum, substitute here. And here the variable is the magnetic field. Charge and the radius is constant. Therefore, the another expression for the force acting on an electron is given by F is equal to ER divided by dV by dt, where dB by dt is nothing but the rate of change of magnetic field. You call this as equation 4. Comparing equation 3 and 4, you are going to get this expression. Here EE get cancelled. Epsilon EMF is equal to 2 pi r square dB by dt, and you know that according to laws of electromagnetic induction, this EMF is nothing but d phi by dt. Therefore, d phi by dt is equal to 2 pi r square into dB by dt. Now let us rearrange the equation. Now if you put pi r square and B. Now here this value, that is pi r square into B, is nothing but the expression for the flux when the magnetic field is uniform. Therefore, in the place of this, you can write the flux when the magnetic field is uniform. Therefore, we have arrived at Betatron condition. So, this d phi by dt is nothing but the rate of change of flux linked with the electron orbit in case of Betatron, whereas here this is nothing but 2 times change in the magnetic flux when the magnetic field is maintained constant. Now this is called as Betatron condition. Let us write the expression for the final energy gained by the electron. Now energy E is nothing but momentum into velocity. The momentum is nothing but mass into velocity of the electron, and C is the velocity of light. And we have the expression for m into v. M into v is nothing but BER. Therefore, BER into C is nothing but the expression for final kinetic energy gained by the electron using Betatron. Therefore, now this is the expression. Now, uses of Betatron. Betatron, by using Betatron, beams of energetic electrons are produced, and using these electrons we can generate X-rays. You know that in order to produce X-rays we have to strike fast moving electrons on a target. Fast moving electron means electrons which are having very high kinetic energy, and we are going to get the electrons with very high kinetic energy using Betatron. Therefore, Betatron is used in the production of X-rays. And you know that the uses of X-rays. X-rays can be used to produce nuclear reaction and are also used to study the properties of solids. Further, X-rays found application in industrial and medical fields. There is no relativistic limit to the energy gained by the electron, since the effect of mass is eliminated. Now this is eliminated by using a varying magnetic field. Limitation. We know that when a charged particle accelerates, it loses a part of its energy in the form of radiation. And since in the Betatron, the electron is accelerating with a very high value, it loses a part of its energy in the form of radiations. Now this is the, as a result, this limits the final energy of electrons. Now this is one limitation of Betatron. Now we have discussed all the 3 important particle accelerators which are included in your syllabus: linear accelerators, cyclotron and Betatron. Okay, this completes your particle accelerator chapter. Thank you.